This is Total Disruption Boardroom Battleground, where bold entrepreneurs step up and they put their businesses to the test.
Over the next 12 weeks, we'll push our contestants beyond their limits in branding, marketing, leadership, strategy, scalability, and profitability. Every move counts. Every misstep, a crucial lesson. Every victory, a moment to shine. Behind the scenes, a world-class production team will showcase their business like never before.
In the end, a single superstar is going to rise above the rest.
This is Total Disruption.
Boardroom Battleground.
Welcome back to Boardroom Battleground. I'm Michael Abersi, business builder, creative realist, and unofficial spokesman for the entrepreneurs who tried duct taping their way through operations.
And I'm Dr. Jake Clendenning, mindset coach, brand whisperer, and the guy who ruins group chats by asking, but what's the genesis of that decision?
Last week was all about streamlining. Systems were tested, time wasters got called out, and for a few contestants, it was the reset button they didn't know they needed.
Now, with leaderboard results coming up, momentum is shifting fast. Samantha's on the rise, finally building with intention. Solid plan, scalable structure. She actually looks like she sleeps at night now.
Meanwhile, Donnie is still lost at sea. He's got charm, hustle, a few buzzwords, but no compass. And more importantly, no crew.
That's what makes this next phase so critical. Because this week, it's not about fixing what's broken, it's about leading forward through all that they've built.
Real leadership, real people, real pressure.
As always, they're evaluated on 4 key pillars: their execution, their growth, their strategy, and their leadership. It's time to show your hand to your crew. Some are going to bluff, some are going to fold. Let's find out who's ready to lead and who's still waiting for instructions.
My perspective in my field, I see strong leadership as the ability to make a decision when consequences are attached. And also the contestants on this show, I think leadership comes natural for them because of the situation that they're in.
I've had a long career of leadership. I had a team at one point of like over 50 in the corporate CFO routes. But this week, it kind of have been drawn back into that corporate consulting and the CFO role for a fractional Catholic charity. So been kind of realizing that it's all a balancing act, right? When you want multiple sources of income. So we have like the consulting on the CFO side, and then how I can apply some of those leadership abilities more towards my LifeWave business. So I think that's one area I've lacked this time in building LifeWave, is applying that same leadership and development of my staff into, building a team for LifeWave and helping them reach their potential through income generating activities as well, and sharing the stem cell patches and changing people's lives in their world. So having that time to shift, back towards LifeWave and apply that leadership more intentionally on my team there, I think is going to help me a lot this next few weeks.
Can you just kind of introduce yourself and what brought you to LifeWave here to join our team?
Yeah, so my name is Marusha Stimovich, and Miss Emily brought me to LifeWave. She introduced it to me, and she showed me a bunch of really cool testimonies and just how amazing the stuff was. And honestly, the proof is just in the pudding. And I tried it myself. I put my grandma on it. I put my horses on it, and we love it.
For Emily right now, in this leadership perspective, is that she's not leading herself to her own people. Like she's literally like closed the door on that barn and like marched off into the soccer field. Those aren't her people. Like, stay with your people. And there are, tons of, and I'm going to say it, right? She's in the rodeo world. There are 1 or 2 people in the rodeo world that are hurt. Just 1 or 2, or all of them, that are in that space. So it's a huge space. It is a community. It is wickedly connected. Just has to step into it. She's just got to be in that space and be totally okay with it. Because to your point, Mike, she's got teeth. She knows she can do it. And she's looking for a different avenue, a different road to go down to do what she needs to do. The reality is she's going the long way.
As far as Emily goes, I believe Emily needs to get a little more comfortable in owning her identity now, and that would help her develop a natural leadership to other people that are attracted to her brand.
Let's go to Emily. So let's talk leadership challenge. What's your current leadership challenge in your universe?
Mine is keeping people motivated. So like with my corporate career, people always wanted more. They wanted to get promoted. They wanted, most of them, you have like your AP clerks that don't have that, but the engagement would keep them motivated, creating a fun environment, a team environment. And we have those pieces at Lifeway, like the team environment and stuff. But with this, it's like something else to do on top of a day job for most people. And seeing the vision that at how it can help them, like with their finances and to help other people they know, to keep them involved in that and not getting burned out, I think has been my struggle.
Emily, as far as leadership, I think that from her network marketing business, it's going to be a lot of, developing community. Some of the things that she'll need to learn to do is lead with love, like create a lot of friendships in that community. She's going to need to be a first-class noticer. What I mean by that is anybody in her team does anything that she wants to see repeated, she's going to need to find ways to give them recognition and identify that and speak about that so that the team does more of what she wants them to do.
I think where I struggle is almost like kind of the opposite of what Corey's doing. You're not going to educate the people. I try to educate them too much. Like, you don't need to know every little thing about the patches and how they work and what the doctors have said. You just need to know it's going to take your pain away, or find out what their problem is and tell them why it's going to fix that.
As I sit here and think about Emily and what she's doing from a internal leadership standpoint, I feel like she's not taking her own advice and not taking some of the advice of what she's getting and running it through her internals and then moving it outward.
A leader who doesn't have enthusiasm for the company that he's trying to build or she's trying to build or the brand that they're trying to put out there, it's very, very difficult for those they're in charge of to get on that bandwagon if the enthusiasm just isn't there.
Brian, who's in the background there, he's one of my instructors. You actually see him on a confession cam as we talked about leadership.
Mark Fitzwater, he has inspired me from day one from meeting him. He has had an energy and an enthusiasm, an aura about him that just says, I am all in. This is my game plan. This is where I want this to go. And I am truly excited to be moving in that direction. And it has been very, very contagious for those who work for him, myself included. It's absolutely a privilege to have a leader like Mark who displays that enthusiasm for his product, I-68.
This is our vision. This is what we need to do. And my guys are all in. I just need to be a good commander and give them what my intent is and left the right limits. And so I think that's in preparation for June. See where we come out of that, that blitz as you're talking about, and then, take the improvements for July and August and September. So continuing to improve it, and pivot where we need to.
So you figure out what your commitment is that that every month, hey, every month I'm good because once you get busy and everything, right? And you're hey, I know. Right now, we're making a push. I'm sold out to getting 10 people enrolled personally in the class and leading from the front. Maybe that changes after you get some momentum and you're getting involved in other things. That, hey, I'm bringing in 5. But the tide thing, right? Who's matching you? Get the other people to believe that, hey, you know what? And you might mess around and get 40 people, right? So that's the thing.
And this is a little bit of a multitasking issue that everybody tends to have, in that we know that that's a lie. Multitasking is a lie when it comes down. A lot of people are like, I'm the best multitasker ever. No, you're a jack of all trades. You're a master of none. Where Mark has been really, again, tactical, and where he's moving to strategic, is he was able to compartmentalize. And I think that comes from military training, is I'm going to compartmentalize my career over here. This is 9 to 5. I know it wasn't, but I'm going to say, it's 9 to 5. And then at 5:05, I am all in I-68. This is what I'm doing.
Being a team sergeant in Special Forces, they're the ultimate mid-manager, right? So they're talking up to our bosses, but then we also have to inspire and train the team that we manage to make mission, or in the entrepreneurial world, to execute the vision of the CEO. So that's something I can provide. I think I can provide value with, and even if it's talking for free to get into those rotations, but then eventually be that a stream of revenue as well.
Mark, well, he's Captain America. He was trained to be a leader, and that's his job. He's also very coachable, which is a great quality, I think, of a leader, is to know when you need to take a lesson as well. But I believe that he takes responsibility, and that's always a sign of a good leader.
So I think from the leadership perspective, and being able to get all the instructors on the same page, same narrative, same language. So when they're out in public and they're being ambassadors of I-68, they're able to speak, civilian speak, and really tell us about the company and the services we provide and the impact we provide. It allows that same narrative to go across our sphere of influence.
I would say Mark, he comes from, being Green Beret, military. He's been trained to be a very strong leader. And I see him leading himself very well. Like, I think all of us have agreed that when he comes to coaching calls, he does what's asked of him. He follows through. I think integrity is doing what you say you're going to do. And I think he's super integrous as far as a leader. And he's also really great at recognizing the need to include his whole team.
But if we could just start to hone in on our voice and kick into the people that we feel meant to reach. And I think Mark is really stepping into that. I can see that for him.
How are you getting from I do it to they do it, so that it isn't always Donnie doing the thing, so that, that's the point.
I have just really hired some top-notch professionals in each of those spaces. The flipping operation, 5 parts: find, figure, fund, fix, and flip. I've just brought in a top-line pro in each of those 5 areas, and those were my direct reports, And from there, we're building underneath them. My product manager on the fix stage has a project coordinator beneath him to facilitate the on-site management of the actual flip.
Could be 10xing his revenue right now and 10xing his life right now. Instead, he's not. And I don't know what that roadblock is, but from a leadership standpoint, if you're going to lead, you need to be led at some point. You need to learn when to take advice and when to turn around and give it. And I don't see him taking it or giving it.
My finance guy as a processor, so everybody's getting an assistant beneath that. So I'm building my bench a little deeper now so I can transfer, because the issue was not just transferring it off of my plate, but some of that administrative had to go another level deeper. I'm at that stage where now my core executives are too busy. So we have to go one more level beneath them and start facilitating them being able to take on more payload as this operation grows.
So just keep those lines of communication open as you're bringing more people on, so that you can always backfill a position when needed. Right now, in my opinion, Donnie's not leading himself very well. So therefore, if we can't lead ourselves, can we effectively lead a team?
Yeah, I think Donnie is still, I know Donnie wants to make an impact. I know that that's his heart, but I think he's very much focused on revenue. But when it comes to sharing content, you have to be so much more about like coming across very service-centered, and the revenue doesn't always come right away from posting a video, right? So it doesn't seem to be a big focus for him.
How many school locations do you want to have in 5 years from now if you get what you want?
So here's the thing is I'm very, very concerned about quality and relationships with the kids. And so I can throw out an imaginary number and say, oh, it'd be great to have 5 locations in 5 years. But realistically, to be able to find quality teachers, reliable teachers that care, that aren't going to dip out whenever, being able to, because one thing that's difficult in the music industry is a lot of teachers like this are private contractors, and I want to move away from that. I want to be able to provide them salary, which in order to do that, I have to have X number of hours for them to work, which means X number of students available to them.
The way that Sam is doing it, the way that Sam is running her business, having group classes on top of the private lessons is just a really great way to be able to pay her employees more while also being able to get more money herself or her business for her business. So I think that's super smart. It's a win-win all around because the parents pay less, the teachers get paid more, and she gets paid more.
We would like to teach as many students as possible to bring music to them and their communities, as well as maximize the amount of hours that my teachers can work. So if I can have a teacher that starts teaching at 9 a.m. in the morning and is just filled her entire day with lessons, that is a teacher that is happy because she's maximizing her hours. She's making as much money as she can in that amount of time.
Now she's demonstrating something for the rest of her teachers. Now she's demonstrating something for her students, a version they haven't seen before. Think about the impact that that's going to make. There's some young artist out there that is currently hanging out with Sam and doing stuff, either singing or doing whatever they're doing, that all of a sudden is seeing a version of Sam that they can buy off on. Like Sam has the ability now to change lives. Honestly, I'll say it, man, globally. She has the ability to do it. She can get there.
And Sam has really done a great job of encouraging that kind of like instead of canceling a lesson, can we do it on Zoom? Instead of, whatever, like trying to make sure that we give students as consistent lessons as possible. And I think that's really smart. Sam's just a smart person and I love her and she's really, really great to work with. Yeah.
We would like a larger outreach so we can come to even more students and fill up our space even more. I would love to be able to hire as many teachers as possible to be able to help them make a living in music. As a musician myself, I know that making money in this industry is not always possible.
And so it would be a great service that I could provide for them to say, okay, I'll pay you to teach remotely, and I already have 10 students that are on the wait list wanting to take lessons from somebody. So I would be happy to hire anybody. I mean, as long as they're qualified and great teachers and they fit the brand that I've put in place, I want to make sure that all of our students have a great connection and are happy. I want us to feel like small town vibes, but on a national level.
Looking at her as a leader, I think she's doing it, whether it's being translated online or not yet. I think that's still like an opportunity for growth.
As Samantha, this is a calling for her. I already know. She's going to progress into a really nice leader because she's already used to running the crowd, and it comes very natural to her.
I've been in my career now. I've served as an executive. I've been a CEO of funded companies. So I've been looked at as a leader, and I've been looked to for leadership. And I think when I think about leadership in motion, for me, is actually the changing landscape and definition of leadership. And when I look at companies that are replacing their C-suite with AI, and even CEOs have replaced themselves and seen 20, 30x increase in productivity and results, I say leadership in motion to me is the shift of human leaders to machine leaders.
I think we're seeing who Corey is today and who Corey has always been. And now he is showing us who he is as a leader, which is he has the ability to lead himself. He is using his influence as leadership, but he's doing things in such a way, like we know the old quote of show me how you do one thing, I'll show you how you do everything. We're seeing the version of Corey that I want to see train that loving is AI. The original version, I was a little dubious, but this particular version, I have a lot of faith that he's training it the right way.
And, there's this new concept instead of artificial general intelligence, which is not really anything general about it, but to this concept of machine intelligence, right? And artificial machine intelligence and advanced machine intelligence, that I believe is going to have the capacity to be an incredible leader because it's devoid of emotion. It doesn't get frustrated or tired. It doesn't have skeletons in its closet per se. And so I think the shift from human leadership to human in the loop leadership, leveraging technology, is that leadership in motion. And I think, we're just as a society catching up to some of that right now. I think a lot of companies would be better served to automate and delegate their leadership to the machines, but I think there's still this apprehension. So to me, the actual motion is movement. It's a shift. It's a change of the guard, as it were.
Where's Corey with his ability to give leadership, and where do you see that happening? Let's bring Mr. Warfield, life here.
Well, Corey's an amazing leader. He's a big visionary. He has got extremely powerful connections in the business world, and he's an influencer. So I think leadership is influence. There's a definition, I think, out there somewhere in the world that says leadership is influence, and I think he's extremely influential. So I would say he's a very strong leader.
Corey, for the last 10 years, has already gone through all of that mental, psychological stuff. And so he is showing up as a leader online by looking at trends, looking at what's happening in his industry, and he's speaking to it, and he's showing up for people. I think where the rest of the contestants are at is they're still getting familiar with how to show up as a leader online, because there comes a point for every entrepreneur and they need to switch into, no, I have something to say and I'm going to share it regardless of the likes, the comments, or the views. I'm going to share it because I know that it's valuable and it's going to help somebody. So rather than coming to the platform for approval, they're coming as an authority.
I feel that there's just a genuine alignment, and that's the leader in Corey that I've always wanted to see. I have no doubt in my mind the guy's a talent. I have no doubt in my mind he can assemble capital and find programmers and all that stuff. I'm sure that to the average person that's fine, but I don't really care about that part of it. I care about the man behind that and the mission behind that. That to me is a true version of the leadership.
Total disruption. Contested ratings.
All right, this is the Total Disruption Leaderboard update. So far, Samantha is our shining star. Implementation has got her past her opponents. Despite her champion rise, our boy Mark takes the cake. He's in number one. He's the top guy. Sound leadership and hardcore implementation have really gotten him past everyone to really shoot ahead of the pack. Donnie's dropped down. He's all over the place. He isn't implementing. He isn't taking his leadership. He went from space and grace to no place.
Next week, it's just us. No contestants, no coaching, just the truth, and maybe a few scorched reputations. We're talking click reels, breakdowns, breakthroughs, and a front row seat to beautiful business disasters. This will finally be a chance to see what we really think without interruption. We're going to look at the growth, the gaps, the good intentions that became bad decisions. And we will be naming names. If you ghosted your strategy, we're calling you out. If you showed up like a leader, we're still calling you out. This is a full diagnostic. No edits, no scripts, just us, some footage, and a whole lot of truth. So grab a drink. We'll bring the commentary.
Today's hard look at leadership reflected a lot. Confidence, confusion, control, and for some real clarity.
Samantha stepped up, cleaned up her direction. She was calm under pressure. And for the first time, we're not just seeing potential, we're seeing performance.
Mark, after stumbling in recent episodes, showed up with a steadier hand. Less humble pie, more focus. That's progress, and he earned it.
This episode wasn't about lip service or posturing as a boss. It was about who could rally others, resolve tension, and move the mission forward.
None of this happens in a vacuum. The wisdom from our coaches this week on team dynamics, trust, tactical leadership. It gave these entrepreneurs a blueprint for improving not just their businesses, but themselves.
And now things shift. The next 2 episodes are live. No edits, no second takes, just raw evaluation.
It's a chance for our contestants and coaches to take a breather, actually run their business, and for Mike and me to evaluate and ask, where are the contestants now? And how do we get them to the finish line?
Get ready for the gaffes, offensive language, and a lot of laughs.
We'll see you live. Don't miss it.